Hi, welcome to Keep the Flow. I'm Scott. If you're a regular here, sorry for the delay since my last episode. Last week was my first Icelandic tour with my own band. After over 20 years of living here, it was about time. If you're new here, Keep the Flow is where we look under the hood of the creative process to keep moving forward in our creative pursuits. At least, it sounded good when I wrote it. I've toured in Europe on my own before, but for some reason I never even tried to tour domestically in Iceland. And truth be told, my wife booked this tour for me. She's quite good at it since she's also a musician and she's been booking her own tours for a long time. So now that I'm back, I started reflecting on the tour, what went well, what could have been better, and ultimately, what did I learn? And the first thing that I learned was that I need a checklist. On the second day, as we rolled into Akureyri in the north of Iceland, something my bassist, Nico, said to me made me realize that I had left all of my CDs and vinyl on the stage at the venue from the night before. I looked at the clock and realized I was barely going to have enough time to drive back and forth and get them before we were due at the next sound check. It was an extra 2 hours each way, but I made it. The funny thing is that those 4 hours I spent alone in the car was probably a good thing. Iceland is a beautiful place, and although driving here can be challenging with little margin for error, there was a meditative quality to it. I think it somehow hit the reset button for me. And the other guys in the band spent the day at the pool, so we were all relaxed. It turned out to probably be the best gig on the tour. When I think back on the moment that I realized I was going to have to drive all the way back to Blönduós for my merch, I could feel myself choosing not to be stressed about it. It's really strange. I thought something like, well, that sucks, but it'll be fine. And we all had a laugh about it, and it gave me a story to tell at the gig. And real quick, I should remind you to hit the like button and subscribe. If you're already subscribed here, you would probably dig my free newsletter, which you can get at ktfpod.com. Okay, so the other thing I learned was how important it is to have people with you who are on your team. And I'm very lucky to have that. It's about trust more than anything else. I've talked about the art of collaboration in a previous episode, the way that Christopher Nolan handles the actors in his films with total trust. It's something that we have to develop. I kind of see it like I create the structure, I write the music, I choose the players, but then it becomes something else. I trust them to bring themselves into the music and make it their own. And beyond that, the amount of time that we spend together not playing music actually dwarfs the amount of time that we spend playing. So it's really important to have people who fit together personally. You need people who can laugh together. But the biggest lesson I learned musically from the trip is probably that we should never stop taking risks creatively. There were so many moments when something went differently than expected, and the flexibility to embrace those moments, the yes and approach, is so important. And I feel like it's really easy to forget that. Allowing things to be different and channeling the excitement that comes from that back into the music, that is like a turbocharger for creativity. And it could be the simplest, stupidest thing, like I think it was on the third gig, I found a piece of material in my cymbal bag that I would sometimes use to muffle my snare drum, but I impulsively poked a hole in it and stuck it on my cymbal stand under my ride cymbal, and I played the whole night with that totally dry, dead cymbal sound, and it was awesome. I don't want that all the time, but it changed the whole sound of the band. And in that moment, it was like putting a lens filter on a camera or something. But even just trying to play some tunes faster or slower, letting someone play an intro on a tune that normally doesn't have one, changing the solo form on a tune. Any of these seemingly simple changes can send the band off into a whole other direction. So I'm looking forward to the next tour, whenever that happens. And I'm thinking about dropping a tracker into my merch bag, to save money on gas. Maybe I'll get to spend the day at the pool instead of driving. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, keep the flow.